Renault's little Captur crossover model has matured nicely with this smart update of the second generation design. It's now a little more visually arresting, but as before is a Clio-based design offering super economical engines, some genuinely clever interior touches, and no small dose of style. It'll appeal to super mini buyers wanting extra versatility, as well as family hatchback customers in search of something more interesting and affordable. And it's the kind of car that'll certainly drive sales in this segment.
Mid-term updates don't usually come with significant engineering or handling changes, but in this case, Renault has tried to improve the rather forgettable handling characteristics of the original version of this second generation design. So the steering's been recalibrated for improved response and control, and the steering geometry and shock absorbers have been modified for what the brand believes is a more dynamic ride. See what you think. There are no engine changes in the petrol-only lineup. Diesel was banished long before this facelift, so this Captur range still kicks off with a 1-litre turbocharged 3-cylinder TCE 90 horsepower unit, only available mated to a 6-speed manual gearbox. It develops 160 newton meters of torque and makes 62 miles an hour in 14.3 seconds en route to 104. Ideally though, you'd stretch to the alternative auto-only full hybrid drivetrain of the self-charging sort. There's no longer a PHEV Captur. That remaining self-charging, non-plug-in E-Tech Hybrid 145 powertrain is what we're trying here. And as before, mates a 1.6-litre 4-cylinder engine with a couple of electric motors, one to drive the front wheels, the other to act as a starter generator to fire up the engine. The E-motors are energised by a tiny 1.2 kilowatt-hour battery, which can power the car alone for short distances in urban traffic. And via a new e-save function, you can save battery charge for later in your journey if you want to. The whole confection still isn't particularly smooth or refined, the steering's quite light and the auto gearbox isn't particularly eager to kick down. But total system output is a competitive 145 horsepower and 62 miles an hour occupies 10.6 seconds en route to 106. There are 4 multi-sense driving modes provided: Eco, Sport, Comfort and the configurable Perso setting. This might be merely a facelift, but this second generation Captur looks very different in this updated form, thanks to tweaks from a team led by ex-Peugeot design director Gilles Vidal. Borrowing cues from the scenic E-Tech Electric, there's now a much less rounded front end with a more complex front grille bearing the brand's redesigned logo. Plus, the smarter front bumper features vertical lighting strakes on either side which twinkle at you as you approach the car, key card in pocket. Inside, Renault has concentrated on providing a slightly trendier, better quality feeling cabin embellished on this top Esprit Alpine model with blue stitching, blue-grained fascia finishing and even a little French tricolour ahead of the front passenger. There's still much the same rather oversized steering wheel, but the fabric-trimmed fascia looks nice. Recycled fabrics feature heavily. And leather and chrome have been banished from this updated Captur to reflect Renault's sustainability ambitions. All Capturs now come with this portrait format 10.4-inch open R-Link central screen with a raft of fresh connectivity functions and wireless smartphone mirroring. Another tech upgrade is this 10.25-inch digital driver's display, which you get above base trim and which offers a choice of 4 layouts. In the back, as before, the Captur features a sliding rear bench, still not that common in the segment, though it only slides in one section and isn't accompanied by reclining backrests. Even if you don't use it, there's a little more legroom than you usually get in a Super Mini-based crossover, and though headroom isn't generous, taller adults will just about fit. Boot space depends on the engine you've chosen and the position of the rear bench. With the conventional TCE 90 engine, there's 484 litres when the bench is slid back, or 616 litres when it's pushed forward. With this E-Tech full hybrid, the figures fall to 348 litres and 480 litres. The TCE 90 base manual model returns up to 47.9 mpg on the combined cycle, and up to 134 grams per kilometre of CO2, and is BIK tax rated at 31%. The E-Tech full hybrid 145 power plant improves that to 61.4 mpg on the combined cycle and up to 104 grams per kilometre on the WLTP cycle. It's BIK tax rated at 26%. This hybrid variant's useful new e-save function maintains battery charge at 40% minimum. This allows you to save battery charge until you might need it, perhaps for urban driving later in your trip. Historically, in our market, the Captur has never sold quite as well as it does in continental Europe. But such is the step forward represented by this updated Mark II model that we think there's scope for that to change. It's passionate, practical, and pretty stylish. As a result, many target customers will find it quite an endearing little thing. True, this Captur faces strong competition from a growing band of very talented rivals, but it's a model you must consider before buying any one of them. A cleverer crossover. If you really want a car of this kind, then you'll really want to try it.